Welcome to Dungeons and Chickens, the podcast where chickens fight back. Episode 12.
Woohoo!
Alrighty.
Got a deuce.
The last time our heroes found themselves traveling once more after leaving the city of Brolkog in the Ashen Lands. After pursuing a way to get the hex off of Beatrix, our heroes found themselves having to go to the Ashen Lands for researching what Mr. Woodway has referred to as the old world, as well as what that means and how Beatrix has received her powers. So, with that in mind, the players, in order to motivate themselves and know where to go, they referenced Delilah's teddy bear, which has the magical ability of referencing any point in space-time, basically by being able to identify where something is and how to and basically where it is, and it just points in that direction continuously like a compass. With that being said, the player referenced how they would go about finding this information, and the bear pointing them in the right direction. And they began making their way. It would only take about 3 days to get there, but they decided to cut through the woods with the bear's discretion, and realizing with difficult terrain, it would now take 4 days. After traveling after about half a day, the players encountered what seemed to be a chimera brute, and a couple of other chimera creatures, which seem to be also mutated with the other monsters that all seem to have some sort of human form, strangely enough, and we're feasting on, and I say the word lightly because they're basically destroying a deer carcass, and we're feeding on it. When our heroes decided it's best to get those monsters out of the way, they defeated them, and then decided to go and continue on their way. And last time I did make the mistake by saying they head back to the path. They are heading through the woods still, and they do have a full 3 days to go with this difficult terrain to go. And also another side note before we get back into it, that the heroes have leveled up to level 4, so they will have extra hit points and more spells at their discretion to use. Alrighty, I think that's everything that needed to be said. So with that being said, you guys are traveling through the woods in the second half of the day, around 2 o'clock, I would say, if I had to guess.
Going into the woods, gonna have a bear hunt. Cool. What was our? Did we do a marching order at the end of the last episode? I presume I'm probably at the front.
I believe you. I mean, you guys didn't establish it fully, but I think it was Lyris.
I basically said that I was going to be at the front most of the time, I think, because the teddy bear was guiding us.
Yeah. So Delilah, Lyris, Aurora, and then Beatrix, I believe, was the marching order as far as going towards the Ashen Lands.
And don't forget Salem and Saul.
Of course, they are one with their owner, so I basically count those as walking next to him the whole time.
Good old Salem.
Little bitch.
How dare you?
I was going to say little dick because I was thinking of like my cat Salem. They're one and the same to me.
Yeah, apparently so. All right, so if I could have one brave person today, roll D20.
I will.
Alrighty.
Uh-oh.
14.
14. Okay.
Did I do a good, Mr. DM?
So for the rest of the day, you begin to see the rain, some clouds coming above you guys, and it begins to have a light sprinkle of rain on you guys as you kind of walk through the forest, making terrain, if you were on the path, a bit more difficult. But since you're in the forest, already difficult. So you guys are now going to be in the soaking rain, and you might have to, and when you make camp, in order to light a fire, you would have to go and now find a dry place to camp out, or you could just keep walking and suffer a point of exhaustion.
I mean, Delilah is not good because she's so clumsy. So as she's like walking through the mud, she's kind of like slipping and sliding everywhere and going, fuck, shit.
You want to piggyback?
Yes.
You want to piggyback? Let's go.
Am I piggybacking? Wait, am I piggybacking
Which
off of
pig?
Laura, or am I sitting on Salem?
Oh, Allura, of course.
Should we get a saddle for Salem?
The realization set in.
The realization of that.
Wait, genuine question. How big's the pig?
Can it be larger
well,
than average?
It's a fully adult pig,
Like a pot-bellied
and
pig.
I am aware you can ride pigs in real life.
Remember that we're 4'11".
I'm 4'10" on my character sheet.
Oh, you're an inch shorter than me. Wow.
Can I ride the pig?
So piggyback makes you a little bit taller than a person.
You get increased movement speed.
Yeah. So yes, I would say your pig is rideable because it is basically an adult age.
Well, lads.
So if you want to find a pig saddle somewhere down the line, you can try and get one.
God.
100%. This has just made the whole entire campaign so much better.
Or you could just try and ride it now, but roll an animal handling check.
Animal handling check. Fuck it, let's go.
I mean, I guess it would make sense because the pig is going to be able to wade through the mud better.
Are you ready?
Yeah, that's why I was saying, like, maybe it'll be increased movement speed. Actually, what is my animal handling?
Oh, I got 12.
12? This is a tough one to decide if you can or not.
If it doesn't work, I want to try.
I would say because of the difficult conditions, your pig is already pretty irritable, and Salem decides to kick you off after you try and mount yourself on the pig. It kind of she bucks you off.
Salem. Well, it's Delilah's chat time.
Can I try? Yeah, can I?
Yes, you can try as well if you would want to.
All right, I look at Allura and I look at Salem, and then I look at Allura and then I look at Salem, and then I look at Allura and then I look at Salem, and I'm like, can I go?
Yes, go ahead.
I got 9.
Yeah,
That's
so
a +3 modifier.
you're muddy, you're soaking wet, and Salem is already irritated, so she bucks you off as well.
Fuck.
So good.
Fucking pig.
Although she remains on the rope. If you rolled a natural 1, I think I said the rope would have braked. You might have had to chase the pig. But the rope manages to be held, and you guys are allowed to keep moving with just a bit more muddier after being bucked off a pig in the muddy forest. So you guys are now. So now your white cloak is not so clean as it was before.
That's fine with me. At least I got to attempt to ride a pig. Don't worry, we'll get a saddle.
We'll get
Get
there.
a saddle.
All right. So being muddied and walking through the forest and starting to get a bit tired, you guys continue to walk for the rest of the day without interruptions.
Oh.
And with that being said, you guys can set up camp, or you can keep going and suffer a point of exhaustion. It is up to you guys.
I don't think I've ever suffered a point of exhaustion, so I don't fully know what actually happens with that.
Yeah, me neither.
So when you get a point of exhaustion, with the first point, if you get 7 points of exhaustion, with each day you don't sleep, you gain a point of exhaustion. Now, on the first day, if you don't sleep, then you get a disadvantage on all ability checks.
Oh.
With the second day, you get your movement speed is halved. I have to see on the third day, but
so it's one exhaustion point 1 day.
Yes.
So basically, if we don't sleep, all of our ability modifiers are going to be halved.
Yeah. So, and on day, if you don't sleep for 7 straight days, you just die.
Oh, shit.
Well, let's go.
So, okay. So yeah. So for 6 days. 6 days. So first day you get disadvantage on ability checks. Second day your speed is halved. Third day you disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. 4 days hit point maximum is halved. 5 speed is reduced to 0, and 6 you die.
Speed is reduced to 0, so you just lay there comatose.
Yeah, someone has to carry you.
Nice. Catatonic. Let's go.
All right, but so it's up to you guys if you want to suffer the point of exhaustion. And in order to get rid of a point of exhaustion, you have to sleep a full day. So if you had 2 points of exhaustion, you get rid of 1 point of exhaustion. Then you'd have 1 point. And if you had 3, you have to sleep 3 times to get rid of all 3 points.
It's gonna take us 3 days to get there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You go.
I don't know. Do we want to do this? Do we want to take a point of exhaustion?
I mean, I was
think just
thinking
rest.
that. I mean, walking through, I think I would rather rest until the rain goes away, because I think that impedes our movement speed anyway, and we're going at a slower rate. So I think if we were to rest, hopefully in a day's time, since we have to do a full day's rest, hopefully tomorrow it'll be a bit brighter, a bit sunnier, and we'll be able to make better time overall than if we just tried to keep going.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's a point. I don't really see any advantage in us like keeping going. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point really. So I think we should just rest.
Yeah, and given that me as Delilah is so fucking clumsy anyway, with a disadvantage to her rolls, that won't end well. I think she'll die.
I feel
Alrighty, so with an agreement to be able to stop and take a rest, you guys go ahead and find a spot to camp out. Any particular thing you want to look for when you try and set up camp for the night?
Shelter?
Or you try and do?
Kind of a drive.
Sorry, I was just going to say like a shelter of some kind, so maybe like a small a rock almost, or something, or maybe like a tree branch that we could hang something over, or I don't know.
I was thinking potentially just like finding sometimes at the base of trees you have like the ground almost rises up with the tree, if that makes sense, as if the tree is like almost unearthed. Because I'm thinking, if the ground's really wet and muddy, we ideally don't want to be setting up, sleeping bags or sleeping rolls on wet, cold ground. So yeah, I'd set on the same kind of thought of Delilah. Look out for like a large tree, big canopy, slightly raised from the ground, something that's going to keep us covered, and also the ground isn't going to be as sticky.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, in order to look out for this, are both of you going to be looking, Lyris and Delilah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So each of you can roll a perception check or a survival check. It's your choosing. Or one person can roll with advantage out of all three of you, or you can each separately roll.
What's your modifiers looking like, guys, for your perception and survival? Mine's both one.
Both of mine are 3.
Perception is 0 and survival is 0.
Okay, so what do we think? Should we let Rhea do one roll with advantage, or should we just have a whack at all 3?
I think all 3 of us, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, let's go for it.
I reckon I'm going to
13.
go with... I'll do survival.
Oh.
I mean, do I need to roll?
I mean, do it for the podcast. Rhea just got a natural 20.
Perception or survival?
Whichever you'd
Yeah,
like.
so Delilah got a natural 20 for a 23 total, and Bunny rolled a 7.
Doesn't make
Alrighty.
any sense. Alora should be the one who's doing so well at this. I don't get it.
Listen, if you're tired enough, you can get good at anything. that is 100% not true. That is complete falsity.
I'm seeing numbers everywhere. I can smell the colors. I'm so delirious. I'm
just confused why Laura's got this reputation of being so cool.
Yeah,
because she's badass. She sniped a motherfucker with a firebolt in our first episode.
You killed every single. You killed every single monster that was in the fight in the first episode.
I got 2 nuts.
Yeah, I literally fell off a cart and sprained my ankle.
Okay.
I think I landed in a pile of poo as well.
With that being said, you guys are able to keep your awareness up, and especially you, Delilah, being the most tired at this point, emotionally and physically, from just being annoyed most of the time. You are able to find a small kind of. There's a large rock that seems to have been kind of like it's been weathered by what seems to be some sort of like the rain is. It's like. It's been weathered in a way that allows you to kind of have like a bit of an overhang. So it allows you to kind of have like a mini like watch over at this point. So if you you see that along the way, or you can have the option of there's sort of a branch that's kind of hanging down that you could figure you could climb up the tree and maybe secure yourself higher up on the tree and possibly camp out there.
Oh Lord. Delilah is, as I said, very, very clumsy. She doesn't do a lot of climbing or anything. So she looks at both of her options and just straight goes, nope, at the tree and goes over to the rock instead and just kind of sits down there.
Alrighty, well, with that being said, with you doing that, Beatrix kind of just goes over and just like sits next to you and says,
God damn it.
Hey, nice rock.
Hey.
Nice rock.
Thanks.
Puts hand on shoulder.
Myself.
Puts hand on shoulder. Hey.
Hey. You heard of the shoulder technique?
Yeah, classic. So, and everybody else, I for the sake of moving on, I would say you guys unless you guys want to have a hunting segment where you guys want to go and find more rations and maybe hunt for food, you guys will subtract rations from yourselves, and that would be 4 rations total that needs to be removed.
I would actually I think I actually would like to go hunting, to be honest, because I've only got 2 rations left at this point. I've been eating.
Oh, hunting.
It's because you've been giving me your rations because I've never had any.
All right. So with the hunting segment, this is going to be interesting because the rain is actually starting to intensify a little bit because of it being nighttime. It's also going to be harder to see because the sun has set at this point, and you guys are going to be hunting. So a source of light and you're going to have difficult keeping a torch up with the amount of rain that's coming down at this point.
Roger.
So, but otherwise. So fire magic and stuff may have a bit of difficulty at this point, but you by all means, you want to go hunting?
I'm going to say more foraging rather than hunting. I'm going to look just to see maybe if I can find something edible nearby that's going to help, give us a bit of extra food without having to dig into our reserve rations.
Okay. Do you all want to go out and hunt for food, or do you guys each or do you want to send one person or 2 people to do it?
I mean, I know how to go.
I'm going to stay at camp.
I want to go
because I don't have dark vision or anything like that.
I do. I'll go. Wait, do you have night vision, Charlie?
No, I'm human.
I'll go with you then. I think it might be cool because I can maybe keep an eye out for some stuff. I could be like your lookout.
Oh.
Okay. So I would say at this point, because you're looking for berries, and this is like a mixture of perception and survival, this will be a survival roll, but because of the barely any light and the fact that you're going to have to go searching through the woods at night with rain, each of you will have disadvantage with a roll, or one person can roll with like regularly. So if each of you can roll with disadvantage, or one of you can roll with just a straight roll.
What do you want to go for, Bunny? I think you're at 0, I'm at 1, so it's. I think in all honesty, I don't think it really makes a difference, to be honest, because if I roll by myself, no. I think it's better that we both roll, because if I roll by myself, it's a 50. We have 1 chance because it's going to be the regular one. Yeah, I think we should both roll.
Okay. Yeah. Survival, yeah.
Survival. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's the disadvantage. Oh, 19 and 18. So the disadvantage is 18 anyway. Bunny got a 4.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I did roll a 19, but it was a 4.
That's fine. Because my disadvantage was an 18.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So, with Aurora assisting you, Lyris, you're able to see, even with the low light, you're able to kind of identify things you had a brief survival course in the Steelfist Legion, so you guys.
It was when I was with Alwyn.
Yeah, so you've gotten a bit of a survival course, kind of impromptu in a little bit of both. So with that being said, you're able to identify what to eat, what not to eat. That is the question. So you are able to go and find some berries that you have recognized as edible, and some. You know to stay away from mushrooms just in general because there's too many for you to identify. So you managed to find some berries that will be able to hold you over. So I will say with that, it gives you enough, with the amount of time you're going to spend, I would say you spend maybe like an hour and 30 minutes looking, and I
Mhm.
would say from what you found, you get about 3 rations worth of berries.
I found my berries.
One thing I will say, Alora, you a little while ago did forage some berries for your pig, but that is for your pig as well. So if you did want to like steal food from your pig and maybe eat that, you can also, I would say you could get like maybe 2 rations out of that.
Did you say 3 rations for mine?
Yes. So the berries you both found together, that's worth 3 rations.
Well, that's fine.
The
That's enough
the
for
berries you
That's one.
the berries you found from the other day, Alora, are worth 2 rations, but those are kept for your pig.
No. We get them
Yes,
to
to eat.
eat
So
them.
that's perfect, because what I'll do is that's enough rations for one for each of us, and Beatrix can just have some pig berries or something. I don't know.
No, she can have nothing.
The newcomer gets nothing.
Hazing the newcomer.
Yeah, she can share the pig food.
But yeah, I'm not even gonna put those. I'm not even gonna put those 3 rations on my carrot sheet, because when we get back, we're gonna eat them all 3. Like,
Okay, so all right. So with that being said, yes, Lyris, Delilah, and Beatrix all eat the Lyris's foraged berries, and Salem and Alora both eat the pig berries. So with that being said, I believe no rations are gained, but except for Alora, where you lost all of yours, which for berries. So
Wait, what do you mean all of mine?
because if you shared the berries with the pig and yourself, that takes 2 rations away from you.
I've given one. I gave one of my rations. So the 3 rations that I found, I
Okay.
gave 1 to myself, 1 to Delilah, 1 to Alora.
Yeah, I have 5. I have 5 rations in my.
Okay, and then there's the Beatrix and pig.
Oh, so okay, so Bunny minus is 2.
Yeah.
So she had 5
then
rations. She's giving 1 to the pig, 1 to
I
Beatrix.
never added. I have in my like bag. I guess I have my rations, but I also have berries.
Yeah, so you can add the berries as 2 rations worth.
Yeah. So it says 2. Yeah. Okay. So I'll just get rid of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
All
everyone
right,
fed.
cool. All right, everybody fed. Unless there's something you guys wanted to do before you went to sleep, I would say that you can either choose to keep watch or just get a full night's worth of rest.
I am going to take first watch, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of sit up, against the tree that we found. I'm just gonna kind of sit up, put my sword between my legs, no pun intended, and just kind of rest, look out into the relaxing scenery that's around me with the the rain pattering. Everyone loves that lo-fi shit.
I'm listening to lo-fi shit. How dare you?
And yeah, I'm gonna tell the others, get some rest. We've got a tough journey ahead of us tomorrow.
Okay.
Beatrix has no issue falling asleep with someone else watching for her. Yeah. Does anybody? So, Lyris, go ahead and make a perception check for me, if you will.
Of course. 14.
Okay. So you keep watch. You still have a busy mind trying to comprehend everything that's been going on, but you are a man of focus and willpower, but also wholesome. So at the same time, you manage to keep your mind straight, but there are a lot of things you're thinking about that do manage to catch your mind from time to time, but you manage to keep watch, keep a wide angle of what's going on around you.
Mm.
Okay. Who would like to take second watch?
Hello. Oh, Delilah?
No, that's all right. You go.
And Beatrix kind of like sleeps up, kind of sleepy. I can take third if you want.
I think this would be the first time that Delilah hasn't taken a watch.
Yeah.
Because it gives you an excuse to read. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Delilah is too tired. Like, even if you yell at her, go, Delilah, wake up! She'd still be like, ugh. And she'd still stay asleep. Yeah.
Oh, we all know that feeling for sure.
It was me today.
All right. So, Alora, if you don't mind, after Lyris gently wakes you up, I hope, go ahead and roll for a perception check to keep watch.
Oh, of course. 13.
Good rolls today, everybody. Alrighty,
Wait till we get to a fight.
yeah, for
One.
sure. Keeping an eye around you. You as well are a bit distracted, but you do spend a bit of time looking at Salem, a bit more than you should. She's very cute, so it's understandable. So you keep an eye on her for a little bit more than you keep an eye on what's around you, but you're fairly confident that you know that nothing seems to be bothering you during the night.
Okay, cool. Pog.
All right, and with that being said, I believe it is Beatrix's watch. So let's go ahead and see. Has a 13 for Beatrix's watch. So as she's she goes and she's keeping her watch, having her mind busy with the thoughts of being tattooed in the way that catches her mind and keeps her a bit worried. She goes and she keeps an eye on the horizon, but she does notice the fact that she does notice faintly, although with let me see actually.
Oop.
No, she does notice that.
Oh.
She does manage to notice what seems to be a figure in the distance of standing straight up, like standing straight up and just kind of watching, staring.
God.
Red eyes though. It has red eye, like red where you think the eyes would be.
Mothman.
And seems to be what seems to be standing what seems to be 5 feet tall.
5 feet tall. Still taller than me.
I mean, is Beatrix gonna wake us up?
Beatrix goes and she kind of like, and it's still there, and she kind of like looks over and she's like, psst, and she can like lightly taps like Lyris or something first. And she's
it won't wake up Delilah.
He's like, I think there's someone, I guess, watching us over like there, and she points towards like it's more of the dense forest in front of you, to the left of the rock, to the left of you as well.
Okay. Obviously, I'm like Lyris waking up, rubbing his eyes. Oh, right. Wait. You seen someone? Where? Point again.
And like, she points again in the same direction.
All right. Lyris kind of like shakes it off a little bit and stands up quietly as to not kind of let his armor rattle or make too much noise, and rests his hand on his sword. Wake the other two up. I'll move forward a little bit. And like I just take a few small quiet steps forward just to try and see it, if I can see it myself.
Okay. So go ahead and make a stealth check, and while you're doing that, Beatrix is going to go ahead and tap both Alora and Delilah.
I got 14 for myself.
Okay, so
I'm only taking a couple of steps. I mean, I'm literally like, we're talking like 2 or 3 meters tops. I'm just trying to like, what the reason for Lyris doing it was to move slightly ahead of the group so that I'm now kind of, the spearhead, and also to try my best to try and actually see if I can see this person.
Okay, so you move, and the figure seems to be staring. Same spot. Actually, well, after being pointed to, go ahead and make a perception check for me with disadvantage, because it is very low light and it's almost middle of night.
Oh,
3. Okay, so you know the vague direction where this figure is, but you do not know exactly where. So you're going off of hints, but you are walking like kind of towards where you think the figure is.
Well, I've stopped walking. Just to be clear, I've only taken a couple of steps. I'm not like walking towards it. I took a couple of steps and then stopped.
That's fine. You take a few steps.
Yeah.
Relatively doing it a more relatively ginger way, which is why the stealth check applies. For everybody else, Beatrix does wake the both of you up, unless Delilah you resist and go back to sleep or something.
Wake, it's time for school. It's time for school, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Delilah kind of she's grumbling and she's groaning and she's she's really just like really upset that she's being woken up.
Beatrix just say, what are you doing? Just get up. Get up.
Delilah's like, shut the fuck up. But she does. She looks at her and says, what the fuck? It's so important.
No, if
you would wake me up. What the fuck?
If you don't move, I'm gonna steal your shit. Okay, listen to me.
Oh, I will fucking kill you.
I wait to see you try it. And then
I fucking will.
And then she goes and she just points in the direction. We're not fighting each other. We're supposed to be fighting the thing over there. Look over there. And she points towards like the same direction she pointed Lyris in. And she says, there's a figure about like 5 feet tall right there with red eyes.
Okay. I look over there and I'm guessing I see jack shit, right?
All right, go ahead and roll perception with disadvantage.
Fuck. 14. I got another natural 20.
You see a figure with red eyes about 5 feet tall, and what you can see, but it's just at the edge of your vision. It's very hard to see, but you can see vague shadows covering them with red eyes, though.
Okay, she glares at Beatrix and is like, I fucking hate it when you're right. This isn't over. And she kind of slowly rolls out of her sleeping bag or whatever, and she tries to quietly get to her feet, but it's still sort of like crouching.
And Beatrice kind of like walks towards Lyris a little bit, but not like because she's across camp. She just kind of walks a few steps. She's like, and she kind of mouths while she's walking.
I heard that, you sick fuck.
If you want to go and roll a perception check, see if you can hear it. But this is a straight roll, no disadvantage.
I got 10.
10. She wasn't being that discreet, so you could kind of like vaguely hear it.
Yeah,
you can hear like
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
right.
like, I know what you're doing. I can fucking hear you.
All right. With that being said, is there anything that you guys would like to do in response to this at this point, with all of you being awoken now?
Scream. Just go. Ah!
I mean, up to you.
No, I wouldn't do that. Delilah wouldn't do that. No.
No, it's not going to work.
Just if you heard a bottle, it was me opening my beer.
It wasn't the 5-foot monster popping a bud.
Cracking open a cold one with the boys. Welcome, Mothman. Please say it's Mothman.
Carry on, Charlie.
I just want to say, out of character for a second. I don't mind it says in the recording. People in the podcast don't see this, but we're constantly putting GIFs in the Discord chat, just like normally about like what's happening in the campaign. And I found one which was of a guy going, with that being said, and I at one point when Drybones was, bless him, trying to say a description, I saw him look at his phone, see the GIF, and then try not to react to it and just carry on. And you know what? Fair play to you for carrying on without like reacting to it.
I was you know, that one that you said was like me looking for this bitch, and it's like that guy from Community like looking at this tiny piece of paper. I was trying so hard not to laugh at that. I was literally like,
Oh, I love how it's become like a little thing that we do now. We just send gifts in the Discord.
I swear to God, the next shirt that goes on my merch store is going to be a Dungeons and Chicken t-shirt with that phrase on it. And I hope you don't mind, Drybones, but it's going to be a top seller.
All right, gotcha. I gotcha. Anyway, so what do you guys want to do in response to that?
I think
the looming threat in front of you.
I'm going to call out. I'm going to call out to it. So I'm going to by this point.
Hey, baby girl.
Whilst the others have been kind of getting up, by this point I have drawn my sword and shield. Again, I'm still kind of like peering in, trying to actually see it. But I know it's in that direction, and I'm going to call out and say, if you are human, make yourself known. We know you are there. If you don't respond, it'll be your doom.
Okay. You wait a moment. No response, and it keeps staring.
This is your last. This is your last warning. If you can speak to us, do.
A few more moments. Nothing. Keep staring.
Okay,
Doesn't move.
I'm gonna turn around. Laura, throw a firebolt that way. Try and light him up.
Oh no. Okay. I'm doing it.
It's still raining a little bit, so it's gonna be a bit difficult.
It's just gonna fizzle out midair.
50.
I would say with the intense heat of that, you go and you cast this firebolt, and you can see, although it is raining and it's raining a bit heavy, you can see that the firebolt kind of glow with energy in your hand, and as you go cast it out, you can see the rain kind of as it kind of like it hits the fire and basically goes away, and then it launches itself towards the creature, and it goes right through it.
Through it,
and then through it, yeah. And then as the fireball kind of like impacts it and then goes through, you can hear a, and it's gone.
As in the figure's gone or the light's gone.
Everything is gone. The figure's gone. The light's gone. Everything's gone. It's everything that you're looking at. Everything that you're looking at in that direction disappeared seemingly.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
What the
Sorry,
fuck?
what? I just
Did you
What the
fireball or
fuck?
something.
Did you just evaporate it?
moment.
Beatrix kind of looks at you and says, don't usually when you fireball things are supposed to die? Like, why didn't it I mean, like, did you kill it that hard, that quick?
This is Alora. It could have happened.
I put my sword away. I put my shield above my head, like almost like, acting as a bit of an umbrella, and take my torch out and walk forward to try and see where it was. See if there's anything left over there.
Okay. With a lack of light, unless you want to provide it, you're find a way
with the torch.
to do it.
Like I said, I put my sword away. I've got 10 I've got 10 torches. I'm guessing that's 10 uses of it. I've put my shield over my head to block the water, and I'm holding a torch in my right hand, and I'm walking towards it.
You only need one torch and you can keep lighting it over and over again. It's
okay,
not 10 uses.
I don't know why it gave me 10, but yeah.
But anyway, so you go ahead and light it, and go ahead and make another survival check to check for tracks or any sort of trace of this. Man, it's a lot of survival checks. I swear that I never made this many survival checks in a row before.
I like the rolls. 17.
All right. You go and you walk over to where you believe the figure was standing, and you can see that wherever this figure was standing, you can see footprint outlines in the grass. But the footprint outlines, instead of being like usually when you step in like muddy grass or whatever, it kind of leaves like an imprint or whatever. This, instead of like making an imprint on the mud, the grass coming out of the mud, you can see perfectly within, like enveloped within this footprint shape, has all just withered and died perfectly.
Bruh.
So it looks like if you stepped in the middle of a grassy field, wherever you stepped, like the footprint you just stepped in just died. Like all the grass in the area just is starting to wither.
Hey.
Can we like check that out? Like, can we do like some sort of?
If you want to let them know and they'll walk over to you and help you if you want.
I beckon them over.
Okay.
Come on.
So yeah,
Is there like a nature check or something we can do?
I scuttle over and scrutinize this little footprint. Actually, how big is the footprint? Considering they're 5 foot, what if they've got massive fucking feet?
It's Bigfoot.
Oh
I mean, it seems like the same shoe size as like Lyrus. You can assume.
Lyrus, how tall are you?
And that means he's got a big dick. No, I'm kidding. I am 6'1". Yeah,
6'1". This saber is 5 foot and it's got the same shoe size as Lyrus.
Again.
Either you've got tiny feet, I'm so sorry about that, or this motherfucker's got huge
tiny but graceful,
feet.
And therefore a big dick.
Therefore, big socks.
All right. So you said you wanted to roll. Okay, so
yeah.
With this one, because you're studying basically grass and dead grass, and with Lyrus, I'm assuming you're kind of like shielding the spot with your shield as well.
I'm being shielded and light.
Okay. Not like the rain would affect it anyway, but stepping around the footprint is to not mess it up. You guys can make a nature check to find to evaluate the grass, you can all separately make checks. Not with disadvantage, or one of you can do it with advantage.
I won't roll full stop.
My nature is 3.
My nature is 3 as well.
I won't roll. I'm happy if you two want to roll.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
F.
19.
Cool. Wow, holy shit. We
Ooh,
all
eights.
rolled 4 8s in the last few bits. So Charlie rolled an 8 for his last thing for disadvantage. I rolled 2 8s, and your disadvantage would have been an 8 as well, Bunny.
Okay, so, Aurora, you have had a ring around the Ashen Lands many times. You've known the grass here, you know the wilderness here. Your knowledge of berries is somewhat limited today because you've just fought chimera creatures in the middle of it, so it threw you off a little bit. But when it comes to studying grass in this specific area, on top of it, you're on top of it. So when you look at the grass, you're like, you know knowledgeably that this grass typically, while it doesn't normally just sort of wither out of nowhere, and especially in that sort of form of pattern, it is not uncommon to see like basically dead grass in that footprint shape. It's sort of uncommon to see like dead grass, but like it is very weird to see it in a perfect footprint shape. So it does kind of catch you off guard. This is not normal.
Hey guys, I don't think this is normal. From my extensive knowledge of grass, I'll have you know.
Since I rolled an 8, I'm looking at it like, this is grass.
This is what the kids would say. We're champ. No,
I mean, without knowledge of what caused it, you don't have a good enough cause as to what created it, other than it saying it's dead in this specific footprint. I mean, even with like a 30, you wouldn't have been able to catch on, really.
Yeah, I mean, the grass is dead, guys. It's not normal. What's going on?
That's basically the gist.
So I turn to Beatrix. Beatrix, look, we're getting close to the foreboding bogs. You know, Mr. Woodway said that your magic was old magic. Is this anything you recognize?
Well, I do know that with the I don't know, man, it's so complicated. With the older magic, it relates a lot to the manipulating people, and because a lot of the old foundations of magic was based on trickery and based on manipulating others into doing things like building their civilizations and such. It was one of the main foundations of slavery in their nation. And so I mean, with something like this is out of my realm, especially with something like this. I'm not really familiar with anything that relates to just killing nature out of easily.
Okay,
without some sort of magic being involved with like common magic as well.
Whatever that thing was, I don't think we killed it. And if it knows we're here, it could come back. I say, you know, what time is it currently out of character?
I would. It's starting to. It's going to be morning soon.
Okay, so it's early enough in the morning that we haven't we're not. If we was get moving, we're not going to waste the night.
I would say it's about maybe like 3 turning 4.
If we were to, okay, quick question. If we were to go now, we're not going to get exhaustion, are we?
You do need a full 8 hours of sleep to count as a full rest to get your HP back.
Well, in which case I would be dead in real life. 7 days without 8 hours sleep. Yeah, easy.
Yeah, so you need 8 hours of sleep in order to count as a full. So you would need to finish your sleep in order to get your HP back, spells back, and not get a point of exhaustion.
Okay. In which case I turn to, because correct me if I'm wrong, but Delilah would have had her 8 hours because she didn't take a watch. Is that right?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
time?
Maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're coming upon. I mean, you probably only need to sleep for another hour. Then you could probably catch up on your watch. Like if you wanted to keep watch, you can.
like basically, I'm going to suggest to Delilah that if Delilah's had her full 8 hours, that she does the last watch whilst the rest of us get the rest of our kit.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, all right, whatever.
Okay, so go ahead and for me, Delilah, go ahead and make another perception check. Unless you're holding Elias's torch, that'll be a disadvantage.
Well, either way, I got a 7.
Okay. So, with being a little bit freaked out, you try your best to stay on your toes and keep eyes around you. But you are really tired. You do deserve some rest. So maybe you should go to sleep and just finish up your. Maybe you should finish up your sleep. It's only like another 2 hours. Sound great, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, exactly. You really twisted my arm on this, but you know, I have to agree with you. I think it would really I think it would benefit me a lot if I just caught up on a
Yeah, come on,
couple,
you deserve
couple of
it.
these. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What could it hurt? We just had a terrifying battle with a Mothman creature figure in the distance who apparently kills everything it touches. But yeah, fuck this. I'm sleeping.
All right, you after keeping watch for about 15 minutes, you go back to sleep. So you managed to catch up on all of your sleep. All of you now managed to have a full rest as well.
Please say I wake up first so I can just pretend to be like, yeah, I stayed up the whole time.
You did have the most sleep, so actually that would be correct. Yes, you'd wake up first.
No one will know.
All right. So you see Beatrix wake up and she says, anything?
Not a peep, honestly.
Make a deception check.
With no, I got a 5. Oh, that's well annoying. I've got a fucking advantage of 4 as well. So yeah, it's a natural 1.
Natural 1,
but with a plus of 4.
Yeah, it's still a nat 1 though. So
Pog.
I mean, as I was saying, not a peep. In real life, I was trying not to laugh anyway. So it's probably what Delilah would do. If she got caught out on her lie, it'd be because she was trying so hard not to laugh and failed.
Of course. So, and Beatrix just kind of goes, "Come on, get the bullshit." What did you watch the whole time?
I am feeling really alienated right now. Not gonna lie, Beatrix.
I was watching the back of my eyelids.
Like you so rudely woke me up earlier, and quite frankly, I just don't appreciate your tone. Actually, for a sister, you've been nothing but rude. Actually,
are you really trying to guilt me right now?
Yeah, exactly. That's what a younger sibling is supposed to do.
You fell asleep at watch. We could have been stabbed to death.
Yeah, but we weren't, so it's all fine. Actually, let's check on the. Yeah, they're fine. We're fine.
Check on the pig. See if it's bacon now. Let's see.
The smell of bacon would have woken me up. Don't you worry.
Oh man, I can't believe you. We could have been.
It was just a little nap.
All right, let's just go ahead and let's get going. Breakfast can wait, I suppose. We just need to get moving.
Don't tell the others.
Lars just wakes up. What's going on?
You're so lucky we didn't die, because Lars can sense evil doing, and his coin would definitely just he would definitely suss out your bullshit. You're lucky. You're lucky. I'm a good sister. Moving on. Hey, Lars, can I see? Hey, Lars, can I see your coin for a second?
What? Put it away.
Beatrix?
No.
Yes, Beatrix, can I see your coin for a second?
Don't do it. She's a coin hoarder.
Can I see your coin?
No, don't do it.
You can look, but I won't pass it over.
I'm like jumping in front of her, basically, just being like, no. You don't need to do that. No. She's like a magpie. She will steal this shit from you.
Okay, she's gonna roll persuasion.
Wait. Can I
to use your coin possibly?
Can I wait? Sorry, I changed mine. Rather than can I flip the coin and be like, what, this coin?
Yes, if you want to, go ahead.
Yeah, I
So
flip the
you-
coin and be like, well, this coin. I was
You know
looking at it.
what? I never actually told. I never lied to Lyrus about, falling asleep. So surely I'm safe, right?
Okay, so Lyris, you look around. Delilah is gray, and so
Beatrix.
and so is Beatrix.
And so is a.
No, Laura's like
So
deep
is
red. Like, no,
Salem.
Laura's deep red. She wants to see the world burn. Yeah, that's she's a fey demon this whole time. No,
She's my patron.
I'm gonna-
she's your patron.
I'm gonna.
Fun fact: Laura is actually blue.
Okay. Well, I tuck the coin back into in my armor and say, "Look, we need to get going. We need to start moving now. We don't want to be stuck if any of those if that figure comes back. Let's get moving."
Okay, whatever he saw. Speaking as Delilah now, whatever he saw has clearly put him in a bad mood. So let's just go.
I'm not in a bad mood. I just want to get out of this forest.
He's definitely in a bad mood.
Beatrice kind of goes like, and she mouths, "I'm watching you. I'm watching you." She mouths
Shut
it,
the fuck up.
and we just get back in formation. All right, we're gonna keep walking through the woods. Who wants to be the one to roll D20 today?
Me?
Of course, be my guest. Roll 20.
What is
D20.
this? What's this for?
See how the day's gonna go.
Oh, for weather. I see.
Yeah, like
8.
Okay.
Nice.
So you guys are traveling through the woods. Do I will make a dexterity saving
Oh,
throw?
for fuck's sake. Oh, I got a 4. Can I have an advantage because I've been so funny this episode?
No, sadly not. You were unaware and you're on difficult terrain. Delilah, you trip on a root and fall on your face.
It's fine.
If you make me lose a hit point,
Can
swear
I
to
use
God,
my
I'm
fence? Wait. Was she within?
I haven't got to that part yet. 1 second. You take 1 damage.
Motherfucker!
There was a sharp rock amongst the mud you fell
I turn
in.
around. Lara turns around. I think I found the root of your problem.
Okay, right. I take out my staff, right, and I charge at him. I
Eldritch
charge
Blast.
at yeah. I cast Eldritch Blast.
Laura's giggling.
No, I charge at him with my staff, and I'm like, "You dare!
I
You dare!"
I put my hand on her shoulder
dare.
and do that thing that tall people do to short people, where she just can't reach me.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much. Actually, I kind of want to cast a spell on him.
Up to you.
Let me take a look at what I've actually got.
Laura's just playing with a fireball in her hand. Like.
Poison spray. Let's go.
By the way, Beatrix is hysterical. She's just laughing this entire time. Like she is laughing very
Did she
hard.
laugh at Laris's joke?
Oh yeah, she chuckled. She chuckled. Yeah.
Then Laris gives a nod of approval to someone that laughed at his joke.
I laughed as well.
I nod at Laura too.
Hey.
Okay, what I do is I'm going to cast Prestidigitation. And I'm going to cast it upon
Distraction.
Lyrus's. Basically, I'm going to cast it upon the area that Lyrus is, and I'm going to create the smell of rotting egg, and then I'm going to run away so he has to stand in it.
You guys smell popcorn?
What kind of popcorn smells like rotten egg?
You guys know what I have to do, right?
You don't recognize the trick, but I do. What's steps on deck of boat.
Hey guys.
Go ahead and Lyrus, go ahead and make a spell saving, or go ahead and make a
Spell saving. It says spell save DC 14.
Yeah. So what kind of? I guess
I think it's going to be a wisdom because it's technically an illusion.
Make a wisdom saving throw, Lyrus.
22.
Fuck you.
Oh my!
He got
goodness.
22
You rolled a
and
19.
he got a 23.
Oh my word! So the way roll 20 works, you get a regular roll and then another roll. Literally, he rolled a 19 and a 20. Oh my word. Okay, so 22.
Fuck you.
She's like, Lyris, you're right. You know something's up.
Yeah, I am. I kind of like. I can tell that she's cast it, but like I can barely smell it. And okay, that's some fresh flowers I smell. Oh, thank you very much. Now, anyway, should we get going?
Okay, Delilah's just gonna sulk
You
now.
catch Eldritch Blast on you, I swear.
I take out one of my fucking axes and I just like lob it at him.
he's like, let's get going, shall we? Just stands back up. He just casts. You see, like he flies through like 50 tree trunks or
I
something.
just look at him like, one of these days.
Yeah. All right.
No,
Otherwise,
Delilah gets all sulky now instead, and she just kind of like she holds her teddy bear and she ambles off like fuck you, like a
and
child.
you hear from all around you, as if like it's like this like, kind of like echoing voice. Only Delilah, you can hear this.
Oh,
You can hear a. You can't blame me. It was quite funny.
Shut the fuck up, Sharp.
Yeah, you get
Delilah's going to say that out loud, by the way. She's literally going to say, shut the fuck up to no one in particular.
That's what you get for acting like a child.
Maybe you're acting like a child.
Otherwise, nothing seems to be of the bother. But you do see everybody else. You do see Delilah yell at thin air and curse the Shar, basically. Alrighty. Otherwise, weather looks great. It's lovely outside. You could have a picnic. Nothing seems to catch your attention, and you guys are able to rest another evening. Do you guys have enough rations? If you do subtract 4 and 1 for the pig.
Wait, sorry, just be clear. Are you saying that we've done a whole day's worth of traveling in that time? Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing really catches your attention. It's more of just kind of more walking through the forest kind of stuff.
Whenever we get to the next place to camp, I will go on if it's better weather now, I probably will go for an actual hunt because I'm still relatively low on rations, and the rations I found last time literally fed us.
Okay.
So
we can go ahead and just jump right into that then. No worries.
Yeah.
So, with the camp being easily set up near, like between a couple of trees, enough to provide some cover. Just generally keeping your eyes around, being able to have a good view around you, as well as some protection from being obvious in the forest. It's like having a base in Rust. You want to keep your base hidden, so that kind of thing. Otherwise, you guys are going to go ahead and go for a hunt. So Lyris announces that he's going to go for a hunt. So who wants to join him in a hunt?
Let's go.
Beatrix,
right.
Delilah, are you staying behind to make camp again, or would one of you like to join me? Oh,
I'm not really a fighter, so I mean I can go ahead and stay back. I'll stay with the pig.
Yeah, keep Sam company for us.
Which one are you referring to?
Oh.
No, like who are you referring to?
Excuse me?
No, I don't feel like that.
Just call me a pig.
The actual pig. I'm talking about the actual pig.
This episode has been actual crack, honestly.
It came out wrong. It came out. I meant as in like I thought that she was referring to Delilah as a pig.
Holy shit. This episode, honestly, what are we doing? I love this episode. This is my favorite one so far.
I'm crying.
Alrighty, but moving forward.
Yeah.
Beatrix, Delilah, would you like to go and accompany the hunt with Aurora now?
Yes, I shall.
Okay, so all three of you are going to go
me
hunt.
away from them.
Beatrix is going to go ahead and stay back with the Salem, and
Saul can Saul just chill on Salem?
If you want Saul to chill there, he'll probably listen, maybe.
Yeah, Saul can stay there. He'll probably prefer to hang out with Beatrix and me anyway, because he's an asshole.
Alrighty. So he kind of hangs out with Beatrix. You see him like basically giving like the equivalent of like crow snuggles. It's very like you're very jealous because he never does that with you.
Well, I suppose he is Beatrix's bird, but still, what the fuck?
Yeah. Otherwise, let's go ahead and do a little bit of hunting with to make it quick. So it's not like this whole. It's like 30 minutes, but we're not doing Red Dead Redemption 2 hunting. But let's go ahead and do that. So if I could have, so you guys have a choice. Do you guys each want to roll a survival check to try and see if you can find tracks of an animal, or do you want to get one person with advantage?
Again, I think we should do
Yeah.
Alrighty, can I have everybody roll then and announce their rolls, please?
I got a 17.
Okay.
I got a 6.
Oh, yeah.
I got 13.
Because Delilah, you are so aware now of roots and everything. You are looking at the you are now looking at the ground all the damn time. So it's no worries for you to look for tracks on the ground as well. So you're able to find what seemed to be a pair of tracks that at first glance, as your book studies, listen, there's a lot of books in the library and the church supply, but listen, like they start to get really boring and they start to delve into like biology and stuff. But there was a cool chapter on tracks, and you can recognize this to be a boar track.
Oh. Wow. You say a boar?
A boar, yeah.
Guys, who wants bacon? We're not eating Salem, don't worry.
I could have some bacon.
Follow me. And I just take off in the direction that the track has gone.
Oh, you want to take? Okay, so you just go ahead and take. You go ahead and just take off.
Yeah, I'm just like, follow me!
Could you imagine stuff like using like a bow and arrow? You use like Eldritch Blast to kill the boar or something. It's
already cooked by the time it hits the ground.
It goes and like breaks through 2 tree trunks and flies out of the woods. But you guys go ahead and keep walking, and after following the track for a little bit, you guys see what seems to be a boar munching on some grass.
Grass.
I'll have everybody roll a stealth check for me, please, to not let it run away.
No.
I got a 5.
I got a 19.
My Roll20 just completely crashed.
Yeah, I've got a refresh symbol on your user, actually.
Heck, I'm back now.
It seems like you're reconnecting. All right. Well, that's interesting.
Sorry, well, it's really weird. Like, everything just...
That's okay. It might happen.
That's fine. Keep going.
It's fine. We just talk about grass.
11.
Okay. You as a group barely pass. If you rolled a natural 1, you would fail. But you guys managed to sneak up onto this boar and enough to see that you're able to view it all. All of you guys are able to view it and approach it without it noticing. As far as killing it, that method is up to you.
What you guys want to do? I can always throw my hammer at it, but I feel like you guys are the ranged ones. Anyone got a spell that can cook it at the same time as killing it?
I mean,
I cast Eldritch Blast and Millie cast Fireball.
Let's go. Easy clap. Easy cooking.
I wonder if you guys had like dynamite or something.
Okay, all right.
I like to think that we both just like slowly turn to look at Alora, just like,
yeah. Here's what's going to happen: is I'm going to count down from 3, and you're both going to fire at the same time.
We're gonna like explode it if we both get like a nat 20. It's gonna like blow up and
literally we're just gonna get bones.
Could you imagine? Have you seen what my fireballs have done to people? I've sniped people and killed them instantly.
We've literally vaporized them.
Then bacon will be on you, literally.
You think we got them?
I really don't think that both of us shooting this thing at the same time is a good idea.
Yeah, but we might both miss, and then we might end up being, like the stormtroopers in like the Mandalorian episode where they just like just trying to hit this one thing. This is like pew 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 pew, and it's constantly around it instead, and we just like
In which case, I've got my hammer.
No, that's just
Jesus Christ.
I think the best thing is to fireball it, honestly.
Yeah,
and if I miss, and then you can follow up with an Eldritch Blast. And if you miss, then you can lob your hammer at the thing and hope for the best.
And I can throw my stick at
it. All right, so go ahead and cast your whatevers to try and kill this pig.
Okay. I'm
This is where it's actually like a demigod disguised
bet
as
you
a
I'm
pig.
gonna
And
miss.
Dry Bones is like, yeah, the campaign ends
Ooh.
now.
Oh, I got
26.
Jesus.
Oh no.
Jesus.
I mean, if it was a natural 20, we would have vaporized it, but you go ahead, go ahead and keep the rolls coming.
I mean, it was a 19.
I mean, that's it. We said we were doing the
That's
first
it.
one.
That's it. Okay, so
if it killed it, I mean that hit. We haven't rolled for damage yet.
oh no, yeah, you see the fireball hit it squarely in like this, like it's like stomach portion of its body, and then it kind of like runs around on fire for a little bit, and then it dies.
Oh no, I hate this. I feel really bad.
Didn't even have to do damage. It was just straight up like, yeah, you hit it, it's dead.
I mean, if you want to do damage, go ahead, but I guarantee it's gonna kill it. Yeah, it kills it. Surprise, surprise, it's dead.
Did I cook it though? Because it's on fire.
Yes.
Maybe we should eat this away from Salem. I don't want to make them feel alienated in their workplace, you know?
Anyone have speak with animals? Anyone
I do.
can see what Salem's thinking right now?
Lyris,
Lyris does.
Charlie, it would have been such a great moment if before you killed it, you just heard like you cats like speak with animals. It's like, we're gonna kill you, motherfucker. just like boom.
You just hear it going oink, oink,
No,
oink.
I think of something I should have done now. I should have role played Speak with Animals and did like seductive boar noises to make him come towards me so we could kill it.
No.
Oh no.
That would have been so funny, but
And there's gonna be opportunity. There's gonna be opportunity for hunting later. All
I'll
right.
keep that in the back of my idea book.
So you, from your experience, Alora, because you've known Firebolt ever since you've had discovered you had magical abilities. You've known that you've killed a couple animals with Firebolt, and you know that this partially cooks the animal. This does not fully cook it, so it will require like to finishing up to cook because you basically just burned its flesh off. But like you need to like actually like cook it, a little bit more. But they don't know that.
I'm gonna poison my friends. Let's go.
Up to you.
I mean, no, of course not. So guys.
All right, I'm gonna level up
pretty-
my RuneScape cooking. Let's go.
Zelda Breath of the Wild cooking. All right. All right. So for easy enough, luckily that pig gave you about. It's a pretty big pig, so actually seven rations
Nice.
Oh dang.
worth of meat to keep on your person.
Nice.
All right. And with that, if you guys want to go ahead, and I can say for you guys that the night will not. The night does not bring any surprises for whoever keeps watch, so that we can
I'll take a watch.
We can keep moving. So yeah, it's nothing seems to disturb anybody that takes watch tonight.
Nice.
And we move on to the next day. So could I have the next person go ahead and roll a wait? So one person go ahead and store add the extra 7 rations to your person because
I
you're
did
carrying
that.
Yeah, Bunny
more meat, and then subtract 4, I think 4, and then 5, 1 for the pig.
Oh no!
okay.
That's cannibalism.
One of your berries. One of your berries for the pig, and 4 of the boar.
I didn't have any berries, but I'll take away one of my rations, and then I'll take away 4 of the.
You give her some biscuits.
Yeah, I'm not giving. I'm sorry. I may have done that in Rust, where I fed a horse to a horse,
Oh my
but I'm
god.
not doing that in real life.
All
Well,
right.
in campaign.
In real life, D&D's
real-
real life.
It is
All right.
my real life.
All right, let's go ahead. And so, with that being said, I believe Aurora.
I
Go
think it
ahead and
should
roll.
be. Yeah, it should be Millie.
Aurora, roll a d20 to see how the day's going.
Oh,
A natural 1.
Millie, why? I'm never gonna trust you again.
It's gonna be as cold
Okay.
as Texas.
Oh, I'm excited for this one, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's go. All right, we're gonna
I'm
get
just making
attacked
it more
every
interesting.
other minute. It's gonna start snowing for some reason, and then we're gonna go straight into a sandstorm.
Acid
And
rain.
then acid rain. There's gonna be a hurricane, and the ground is just gonna open up and swallow us.
You say one
And
bad
Salem
weather, Bill,
dies.
and the pig's not the only thing I'm gonna be casting fireball at.
Okay. Good news. The rain does start. There is rain. But Could I have who's at the front? I think
It'll be
Delilah's
me.
at the front
I
because you
am.
had.
Oh, okay.
Delilah's at the front because she's pointing with the bear. Delilah, can you roll a perception check? This is going to be during the late evening portion of the day.
I got an 18.
Okay. You see what seems to be you recognize, because of your high perception, you recognize about 50 feet from you a gleam from what seems to be armor, of a similar shade as Lyris's.
Oh, fuck.
That's what you recognize, and it's about 50 feet away from you, not moving.
Okay. Delilah immediately stops and turns around, gives her whole team like this very, oh shit kind of look. Yeah, exactly like that, Charlie. And then immediately ducks behind a tree.
Okay.
She's not used to being at the front.
Lyris, take with that what you want to take from that.
I put like, you know, do the military thing of like kind of put my hand up as if to be like, no, everyone stop. And I kind of look to Delilah and kind of go, I kind of like, I'm going to describe it as well as doing it on the camera for you guys on the call, but like a bit like that sort of animation you do when you want to say to someone like, what? Where it's like, I like, you know, raise my hands
raised up, like hands raised up in your shoulders,
slight
kind of thing.
shrug, yeah, like
yeah, slight
what?
shrugging, yeah.
I mean, I'm doing it silently because I've recognized the fact that there's obviously a threat, but like, and that I've stopped everyone. But I'm like, what?
Okay, Delilah, she's like got her back against the tree, so she's not actually looking in the direction of where she saw the armor, but she's got her back against the tree, and she's just kind of like, she's slowly peeks around and sort of like points in that direction, and then she points at Lyris, and then she points in that direction again, and then she points at Lyris and like does like a little circle as if to gesture, like she's trying to gesture his armor basically, and then points to that direction again, and is just like, I think one of your buddies is over there. She says it in like this kind of, she's trying to be quiet, but she's so stressed that it's not the quietest of whispers, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, very non-discreet.
Yeah, she's like, I think that's one of your buddies over there. She says it in a vaguely American accent for some reason.
Okay. Lyris takes a knee and kind of like beckons everyone to kind of like get down. Where's Saul at the moment, Rhea?
He'll probably either be on my hat or with Beatrix Drabbins.
He's right now. There's a lot of like male and female with animals right now. He is with Beatrix right now, because you are keeping watch, but it is Beatrix's bird. So currently he is with her on her shoulder.
Oui.
Okay, so I kind of like turn and cast speak to animals. I'll take a spell slot away now. And I call over for Saul to come to me.
Okay. And as you kind of do that, you see Saul begin to kind of like flap over reluctantly, just lands on you, kind of like looks at you sideways, kind of thing.
Hey, buddy, look. Do me a favor, fly up above the canopy, and just get a little idea of who's ahead of us. Can you try and tell me how many, and do they look like me?
Okay, so he looks over and he looks over at Delilah and kind of like is like, should I do this kind of thing, like looking for confirmation.
Oh.
She kind of like gives a little nod.
Okay, so then you go and you can see flying basically above the, like, you see him kind of like flap away and then go to the above the canopy, and he begins to go over towards this area about 50 feet in front of you, and it takes a couple moments. It's actually like 2 minutes. He's gone for a little bit, and after kind of waiting for a few minutes, starting to get a bit concerned a little bit, you guys go and see Salem, or you see Saul come back and land on Delilah's hat, looking very flustered.
Oh,
What-
here we
what-
go. He's going to be like, panic, panic, panic again.
So I'm guessing I can still talk to him because the duration was 10 minutes. So has it been within 10 minutes he's been back?
It said 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
So I know. I look at him.
Panic, fuck, panic.
fuck.
Panic, fuck.
I gesture him over again.
Come here,
Okay.
little buddy.
There's a lot of dead people.
To
a
make
lot
it
of dead. A lot of dead people.
to make it easier for Saul, because I can tell that he is very stressed right now. I'm too scared to stand up, so I just crawl through the mud and the grass over to Lyris, and it's not very graceful. It's quite rushed as well, but yeah, I crawl over to Lyris and then like I lay down on the ground so that basically, if you were to look at me from like a small distance away, you'd just see like the point of my hat sticking up out of the ground, and that would be all you'd see.
Yeah, so you kind of crawl over to Lyris, and you can see, like, you can see the Saul kind of moving over, like, very reluctantly, but just kind of like, there was a lot of dead people. I was so oh, there's so much blood. Oh, there was a few.
I hand him. Can I hand him like a portion of my ration, just like a little break off, little crumb or something?
Yes, you kind of hand a portion.
Yeah,
He just absolutely devours it.
Right.
Absolutely devours
All right,
it.
good. That's really good. But I need you to be really think back to what you saw. How many of them were still alive, and did they look like me?
I don't know math very well, but it's I think like 20 dead people.
And what about the ones that were standing? Were there any?
No,
Okay.
they were all dead, and there was like one dead guy that looked like you. That was it, and it's the one you can see.
Okay. You.
And I lift up Delilah's hat.
You go under there. You have night time now, okay?
Dark. Fuck, it's dark. Fuck.
The sun turned off.
Okay, I beckon for everyone to like stand back up.
Okay, look, let's take this really nice and slowly. But by the sounds of it, there isn't. By the sounds of it, there isn't anyone there actually a threat. Let's move forward slowly, carefully. Keep your eyes out.
And with
Okay.
that, I start going forwards, taking the lead.
Okay. So you begin walking forward, and you can see, as you begin to get closer, you could see the armor, which was before gleaming, now seems to be a bit muddied, as with the terrain around you, and has blood on it. So there's lots of blood on this armor, and as you get closer, you can see this kind of leads to like kind of an outcropping of a piece of like a certain, like kind of like an outcropping of land, a little bit like a kind of like a hideout kind of thing. What you can see, and there's like when you get closer to the clearing, you can see like what seems to be like handmade tarps covering like sticks, like as in to be like makeshift tents basically, and you can recognize them as like orcish design, and you can see all kinds of like goods being around here like spilled over, and you can see the bodies. You can see as you get closer, and you can kind of like peer through this kind of outcropping, you can just see like an open, like I would say maybe like a 20-foot radius, like field of bodies basically, and you can see orcish men, women, and children all dead, being kind of like bleeding out in the middle of this outcropping, and one dead
Human.
Steel Fist Legion soldier, which you can put together. You're the first one to see this. Is you were first in the order when you move forward.
Oh God. I'm trying to think of what Lyris would do in this situation.
So what do you think? Do dum 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 da da dum dum dum. They're gonna catch up soon, Lyris.
Well, no, I'm just standing there. I'm literally like Lyris is just standing there in awe. Just like this is
okay. All right, then with that standing still, Delilah, you walk up and you can see what he's seeing now as well.
Bruh. She doesn't say that. That's
I was gonna say.
Don't worry. Yeah, Delilah sees this. She recognizes the armor again. She has a little kind of side glance at Lyris just to see how he's coping.
I'm just like absolute straight face in awe.
Appears to be catatonic at this point. So Delilah decides to take point to mostly to spare Lyris from, because he's always the one who has to go in first. So she takes point for him so that he can, he can have his moment, and she's going to carefully step into the outcropping and I suppose search around, look for any clues as to what might have happened here, what might have caused it, who did this, etc.
Okay.
And if there's any survivors, sorry.
As you go and begin stepping through, you can see Aurora. You step up as well, and you can see a small outcropping with a bunch of orc men, women, and children all apparently been slaughtered by. And you can see one dead body near the beginning of the outcropping with steel fist legion armor, and but they have a helmet covering their face, but they have blood stains all over them, and it's a field of basically blood at this point. And it's completely silent, and you see all these kind of these market setups basically, and makeshift tents essentially.
Jesus Christ.
Is there a religion that we don't know?
With that being said, Delilah, you walk in, and you said you wanted to go and investigate the bodies.
Yeah, basically see if any of them are alive. Maybe take note of what caused the injuries as well, whether it was swords or blunt objects or whatever, something that could help her ascertain who did this.
Okay, so go ahead and roll an investigation check for me, please.
No, Dumbo.
I got a natural 20.
Okay.
Shh, it's okay.
Very nice. So, by looking at these bodies, you can recognize the fact that these people, the way they were situated, was they were caught completely off guard, and the way that they were surprised. And you recognize this in the way that they are scattered, in the way that they have fallen and died. You see the children with the mothers, and you can see the usually the males have been kind of spread out, but also in kind of. Some of them are in towards the right of the kind of outcropping in the grove, and you can see them kind of grouped up as if to kind of group up and fight people. And you can recognize the fact that most of these seem to be stab wounds. There is one that is not, and this is with an orcish man, and when you investigate him, he seems to have his neck snapped. But for everybody else, everybody seems to be dead at this point, and all of them seem to have been stabbed by either some with short swords, some with daggers, mainly some with great swords you can recognize. But they were caught off guard and they were slaughtered quickly.
Right. Okay. Delilah turns back to look at the others and just to see kind of where they are, what they're doing.
Yeah, so Aurora and Lyris, what would you be doing at this point?
So after Lyris is kind of snapped out of that kind of initial surprised awe, what I start doing is I start like what you see Lyris doing is I start kind of taking the anything that I can find, blankets or like the cloth that you said was kind of making almost like makeshift tents. I'm taking all these materials and I'm just basically starting to cover up the orcish bodies.
Okay. Easy enough to do. Cloth rips easily, especially with your aid of your weaponry. You're able to quickly create some sort of like makeshift cover for all of these bodies. It takes a little bit, but you're able to do it. Laura, do you have anything you in particular want to do while investigating this kind of battleground?
I think Laura's gonna be in shock. She's gonna be in shock, kinda. She's I don't know, I think she's just I don't know. I'm still just like, oh. She kind of probably would want to go help Lyris with covering up the bodies, but she can't really bring herself to like move. She's kind of feeling really like shit,
Yeah.
So I think she's just gonna literally just like kind of fall to her knees and just kind of just be like, kind of in her own little trance of seeing all of these like dead like bodies and children and stuff, especially if there's children around. So
I should say as well that as Lyris is going around, he's also checking to see if there's like any sign of life as well.
Yeah. So far, nothing. But Beatrix as well is helping Delilah identify the bodies, because those two are, along with grieving, curious minds as well. So they wanted to investigate what's going on. So after you've investigated, you're covering up at this point, and all that's left is the Steelfist Legion soldier that's been not wrapped or covered.
Just quickly, with my search earlier, I can do another roll if you like. Was I able to see if there were any tracks leading away? Because my thinking at the moment is that an army basically moved in here, like a lot of people with all kinds of different weapons, and potentially someone of freakish strength. So I'm wondering if there's potentially some tracks leading to and from the grove.
Since your investigation held so well, I'm going to say it holds to the situation. You do see a bunch of what seem to be footprints, with like you see a large amount of tracks of boots, and you can see that most of these orcish soldiers are mostly barefoot. Honestly, they don't really have much foot protection, but you can see there's a lot of boots been along this grove, and you can see the leading more toward. There's a bunch of them clumped up together on the right side of the grove, where a lot of the orcish men, like grown men were huddled, basically. But otherwise, the boot tracks kind of go all over, like leading to all of the tents that they were seeing. But then they all lead. They all go back to that direction as well.
Right. Okay. I return back to sort of the soldier at the foreground from where we came in. I'm assuming that all of the bodies have been covered now, potentially, and if we're all going to group up, or I beckon the others over.
Yep, all except the Steelfist Legion soldier. And I will note, during this entire time, the teddy bear has been active, and it has been pointing not really towards the right of the grove, but it's been pointing kind of like towards the top, as if you kind of like turned at this point. Yeah. So it's directing you more away from where the boot tracks have been coming from, but up towards the north.
Okay.
But yeah, their Steelfist Legion is left, and he is the only one that has not been uncovered. Like he's still there.
Okay. Delilah crouches by the soldier, and I believe you said that he had a helmet on earlier. So she looks to Lyra sort of for silent permission to remove the helmet.
Yeah, I nod.
Okay. And yeah, she takes off.
Okay. After taking off the helmet, you can see what looks to be a blonde human male that has a bit of stubble, like blonde beard stubble, but otherwise has like his eyes glazed over. He has green eyes and seems to be looking up towards the sky. and you see blood kind of dribbling out the mouth. It lines up with a lot of what the soldiers' regiments are made up of from Lyris whenever you see, in particular, when you see the soldier.
Okay, I look at Lyris, and basically I'm just going to explain what I found in my investigation. And I won't roleplay it. I tell him what I found, the footprints, the different kinds of wounds, the fact that one orc had his neck snapped, and then I say to him, well, what do you think about this soldier? Do you think he was the only one left of the invaders, or do you think maybe he was a deserter?
It's hard to tell. I mean, the Steelfist Legion, they're highly trained. They are very, very hard to kill. But at the same time, you know, if they're still humans, it could have been just one of these orcs could have just managed to get the job on them. I think at this point, it's hard to. I think it's not worrying about what happened to him, but more so, you know, the fact that if Steelfist Legion have been here, you know, how close are they and where have they gone? I don't think we can do much more for these. I think we need to keep focus on our main mission here. The sooner that we can help Beatrix and get Mr. Woodway out of our hair, the sooner we can try and stop the Steelfist Legion and get back to our main objective here. And we can't get involved in this war. We need to just carry on and deal with our objective. If we can help people in the meantime, we will, but otherwise we just got to carry on.
I don't know how well I can sit here knowing that the murderers of these men, women, and children are still alive.
But that's the thing, we can't take them on, not in this current format. We need to help Beatrix. We need to, you know, we're on a time frame of that. Her back's getting worse and worse. In fact, we haven't even checked it for days. You know, we need to sort that out, and then and only then can we have a look at potentially, as we discussed a while ago, potentially taking out the Iron Fist Legion's leaders and stopping this war, but also gaining an army for our original objective. We can't, you know, if we track down the Steelfist Legion now, it could have been 5 of them, it could be 50 of them. You know, the one thing I do know about the Steelfist Legion is they never go alone. They always go overpowered. You are not going to find, you know, the group that did this is not going to be small, and we can't take that risk right now. And even if we did find them and stop them, we're not going to stop the war. The best way for us to do that is to carry on with our mission. Believe me when I say that it's with a heavy heart that I make that decision, but we need to think of the bigger picture here. If we could help these people, we would, but it's too late for them.
Delilah, sort of, as soon as she realizes that Lyris isn't going to do anything about the situation, in that, like, he's not going to pursue the Steel Fist Legion at this point. She immediately, like, looks away from him angrily, and when he finishes speaking, she stands up and she turns around, and though she hasn't actually used any of her powers, she hasn't cast a spell. Her face looks as if she has done. Her lips are black, her eyes are glowing, and her veins are black as well. And she's physically shaking from rage. And she gives Lyris a very withering glare and says, well, I suppose I'll bury them by myself then. And she basically shoves past him as hard as she can, and starts looking for soft soil to start burying.
I will note as well that this is also the second time Lyris has seen the black lip features of like when she gets angry. So Lyris, this is the second time, I believe. Aurora, this is, I believe, the first time you've seen it, and Beatrix, this is also the first time. Lyris, you've the only one seen it up until this point, but you can see it again.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. So you push past Lyris and you begin kind of digging graves for each of these people. I mean, it takes a couple of hours, but you guys.
Yeah, I'm digging with my hands because I know there's probably no shovels around. I'm not even going to look for one. I'm literally just clawing at the ground with my fingers.
Can Laura just silently follow Delilah and do the same thing as well?
Mm-hmm. With all of you guys working together, you can finish the graves in like 3 hours, but with your pace of digging with your hands.
Okay.
All right. Would that mean it's when you guys finish up, it was about evening that you encountered this, so I would say it's about 8 o'clock right now. So you guys are going to arrive at the Foreboding Bogs tomorrow morning, for whatever is over there. So I mean, where would you guys like to camp up here, where there's already like space and somewhat tents set up?
No.
Okay.
No, Delilah would immediately. She doesn't want to spend too much time here. And despite her sort of lack of religion, I suppose, given her upbringing, she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to dwell on like the bad energy that she's getting from this place, basically, with the amount of death and innocent lives lost.
Okay. It's easy enough to find a shelter within the forest outside of this camp, and you all kind of move on a little bit further past the grove, and you guys each can eat your meals, subtract your rations accordingly. I believe it's 5 once more, if you can take that. And would that work?
I mean, I'll just take 1 from mine.
And I'll take 2. Because Salem.
Okay. So you guys go ahead and get up the next morning, unless you guys wanted to take watch. Nothing seems to. Whoever decides to take watch, there's nothing that awakens you in the night. So we don't have to do rolls for that all over again.
Okay. Sorry.
Go ahead. If you want to do something, go ahead.
I was just going to say that Delilah offers to take 2 watches rather than just the one. Like she'll take watch for longer, because she can't sleep. All she can think about is all of the bodies.
Okay. No one argues with you, and you and you go ahead and you're able to take 2 watches and barely be able to get enough sleep to not get exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys, the next day, I would say at around, you guys wake up at around, since you guys went to bed a bit early, I would say you guys wake up at around 8 o'clock. And you guys have the ready day ahead of you to keep moving on and continue down the metaphorical path ahead of you, where the bear is pointing towards. And if anybody you guys want to do anything during this time, let me know. But otherwise, you guys are continuing to try to go through the forest, and at around 11 o'clock, you guys finally arrive in the Foreboding Bogs, and you can see that all around you there are a number, an overwhelming number. You'll see a scattering of dead trees all throughout the horizon, basically, and you'll see all sorts of swamps. This whole area is a swamp, and then you have these muddle pools of water. You have the moss coming from all the trees. The trees look very old, and they've been here for a long time, and the ground is very muddy, and barely anything has grass anywhere. It just has if it does have grass, it's very, very damp and not lively at all. It seems to be living up to its name, as Foreboding Bogs. But you guys continue to where the teddy bear keeps pointing in your direction. Could I have everybody roll a perception check for me, please?
I got an 11.
18.
Oh,
2.
So, Lyris and Aurora, you in particular hear what seems to be a mix of, you hear what seems to be fighting in the distance. In particular, you hear what seems to be sort of squealing, not like a pig, but kind of like a lower pitched like cry out of pain, as if something is being hurt, along with the regular like fighting noise. And you kind of hear that in the distance. And if you had to place it, it would be towards where the bear is pointing.
oh. I'm assuming that I'm taking the lead again, as I have the teddy bear. And I will slowly, I'll slow my pace down drastically enough that everybody else kind of slows down their pace as well. And I'm just going to like slowly start to kind of approach and try to avoid any, loud splashes of water, since we're walking through a bog.
Okay, so could you roll a stealth check for me, please?
Okay.
I think, yeah, you.
Oh, I got a 19.
It's survival.
I didn't get a 19.
You got
rolled
it.
I got a 9.
You rolled it. Okay, you rolled a 16. You rolled a 16, so I'll discount it. So +1. So you rolled a 17 for stealth.
Oh, yay.
You're able to avoid the puddles and kind of lead everybody towards, like, away towards the noise, but away from any sort of puddle that would make their location more and more known. So you're able to kind of continue down, and you stop at what seems to be a large hole below the swampland that seems to be a hole in the earth, similar to what you've seen from the monsters crawl up out of. But instead of monsters coming out of it this time, it's completely still. But you hear the sounds of the animals coming from it.
Oh, so you said it was definitely animal sounds, but not pigs.
It seems to be like it's squealing. The animal's noise is like it's sort of a squealing sound, not similar to a pig, more kind of like deep, more kind of like a guttural noise, as if like a larger creature was in pain than a pig or whatever. And it's not really the same kind of thing. Well, more lower pitched.
Okay. Do we recognize those kind of screaming sounds at all? Anything like the creatures that we saw back in Aspecia? Like, yeah. What
the hole that it comes from, you can see the. Did you say you wanted to investigate like the hole itself or the noise?
I was just asking whether we recognize the noise to be anything similar, like a bit like the chimeras that we heard before. Like when we looked. Do you remember when we took them out before? Like,
yes. Just roll a straight intelligence check for me. Just roll d20 and add your intelligence modifier.
Roll 20 with modifier, yeah. So I rolled a 10 with my intelligence modifier, which is 0, so 10.
10. Okay. You recognize this to be some sort of noise from the creature that you killed that back down in the Aspecia. You recognize it as like a noise kind of like it, but it's vague and you don't know what kind of creature would make it, other than it's a mutated creature, you believe.
Okay, so I turn to the group. Look, I think this is similar to what we saw in Aspecia. It has to be. I recognize it from before. If I recall correctly, this is potentially people being, changed. If you remember those pods that we saw before, I feel like we should get down there quickly. Sorry, Salem. Like, I started to roleplay when Salem's just like doing so many angry meows in the background. Yeah,
the actual IRL cat they own, Salem, not the pig.
Yes, I'm not sure if he comes up in my microphone at all when I'm talking.
Nope.
I think he does in Ria's, but anyway, yeah. So I essentially the TLDR is I say, hey, let's go in there. There could be people to save.
Okay. Would everybody else? Do you have anything to say about that as well?
Sorry. So I tried to get Salem on my lap because he was like begging for attention, and then the moment I put him on there, he's like, "Actually, I don't want attention anymore." Typical cat.
Yeah, for sure.
Delilah kind of at this point she's still kind of moody with Lyris, despite having, like, hasn't necessarily slept, considering she took 2 watches. Her black veins and her black lips kind of dissipated after, a short while of digging.
Yeah, last night you had a whole full sleep as well, so.
Yeah. But today she's still angry. Even though she can kind of see where he's coming from. She can't stand the thought of these people going unpunished, even if it's only for a little while. So she this is a long way of me saying she doesn't reply to Lyris.
Okay. Beatrix kind of looks into you, says, I mean, it's obviously, here, give me the bear real quick. Or if you don't want to give me the bear, just walk around the hole for a second, see if the bear points down.
Delilah clings onto the bear. She's pretty much holding it like a lifeline at the minute. And yeah, she sort of walks carefully around the hole.
The bear seems to be pointing directly down the hole.
What was it that we asked the bear again?
Bring us towards what?
I think it was bring us to the source of
Beatrix's power.
Beatrix's power.
I think it was like, or like help us out at least, or something, like give us like a hint or something. Yeah.
Well, I guess we're going down.
Okay.
I peer down the hole.
Seems pitch black.
I push him down the hole.
You can't make anything out from it, but it's a gentle slope that kind of like leads down as if something kind of dug this hole as it was getting up to the surface.
Okay. Anyone?
So you guys go ahead.
I was going to say, anyone got anything they want to do, or are we ready to go down?
Yeah, Delilah just ignores Lyris again. Sorry, Charlie.
All right. So you guys kind of slowly head down. Can I have marching order real quick for who is where?
I'll be first.
Yeah. Given that we know exactly where the bear is pointing, Delilah gladly does not go first this time. She'll let the others kind of decide which way they're going.
Okay. So do you guys want to bring the pig down here also?
No.
No, we'll tie Salem at the top.
Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
and I'm going to tell Saul to keep watch, and even though I don't speak with animals, I tell him to keep watch, and if he sees or hears anything that's kind of like, oh shit, that could be danger, then to come down and squawk fuck at us.
Gotcha.
I want to leave some rations with them. I'll leave a ration with them.
Okay, gotcha. So with that being said, I think the marching order then would be Lyris. Did you want to go second, or do you want like someone else to do it?
I will go second.
Okay, and then we have Aurora and Beatrix. Which one?
I'll go after Delilah. And then Beatrix can go last.
Okay, awesome. All right, so you guys begin to start making your way down this sort of tunnel. And after you guys, it is pitch black, by the way. I don't know if you guys have a light source. You want to light a torch?
I'll light my torch.
Okay, gotcha. So you guys begin to walk like sort of down the tunnel. And with the light illuminating everything from you, you can see, like, walking down on the like left, like as you start to go down, you see on the left and right side of like this sort of narrow tunnel, it starts to like open up a bit more, and it seems to be sort of like a more traditional like stone hallway. It seems to be more kind of like it seems to be old and weathered. It seems to lead to some kind of some stone you recognize before in Aspecia a little bit.
I was gonna say, could we check for any like because in Aspecia's caves, if I recall, wasn't there like cave drawings and stuff, like cave drawings of like old gods, etc. Are we seeing any of these?
Sure, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Not one.
F.
Sorry.
Someone else having bad rolls for once. Yeah.
That was really out.
We've all had a nat 1. We've all had a nat 1 so far today.
You do not see anything that could lead you to a cave drawing, but as you guys begin to move a little bit forward, you do see a number of bloodied and like absolutely like slaughtered of the fish humanoid creatures, the chimeric humanoid creatures. They're definitely dead because they're barely, you can barely even say deceased as much as they've been absolutely slaughtered and torn open. Something came here and rampaged them, all of them.
Okay, I was about to specify, like, had something burst out. Okay,
It's kind of fucked up, dude.
Some of them are stabbed. Some of them seem to be like ripped open. Like they've been ravaged.
What could have done this? Even the Steelfist Legion, if they've been in the area, they are extremely powerful, but they're not savages. They wouldn't have done anything like this.
Aren't they savages?
As in, not in how they slaughter. They are precision, but then they wouldn't kill this way.
Beatrix looks kind of extremely unnerved, basically, and just kind of is taken aback, really.
I look at Beatrix and I say, "Do you feel anything down here? Anything different?"
Something isn't right. It's not the creatures that tell me this. It's the fact that I don't know. Something seems off from the normal. Like I don't know. Something seems different. Like this isn't like before where I've seen this is a lot of. This seems like power beyond all of this to me. I get a strange feeling from all of this. Seems very overwhelming.
Is it only Beatrix that gets this feeling?
Yeah. So you don't really, you don't feel. I mean, other than the fact that something seems wrong with the animals being ripped and torn apart, you don't really suspect. You don't really think anything is out of the ordinary, as in like power beyond yours or something like that. Just the fact that it's an animal dead that's been killed a lot, very, very much so.
Nice.
Look, let's
throughout all this, the noise is still coming from like down the hallway. It's still like fighting noise and like squealing noises.
Yeah, we carry on.
Okay. So heading down the tunnel, you can see the fact that it kind of begins to open up like further down as you see like 30 feet, and you can see the squealing noise, like as if like the pain, and like you can hear the fighting noises, and like basically at this point you can hear like grunting and like kind of like as if there's a struggle going on right now. You can hear that from coming like more intensely down the hallway.
I start to pick up the pace a little bit. Lyris can sense that whatever's happening here, there is someone or something that is the victim here, and Lyris kind of just wants to help. So start to pick up the pace a little bit.
Okay. So Lyris, once you go and you see the like once you go to the opening, go ahead and make a perception check for me to see what you see.
What do I see? I got a 3.
Okay. So that'll be understandable in just a moment. So
Nothing.
So as you can see, you could as you basically go and you see what is in the opening. There is this large room. It is a large rectangular room, with one wall, the one wall closest to you having some sort of carvings on it. You can't like some sort of carvings on it, and there's one to the right of you, all on the far side that you can see as well, barely, but you can't make it out. And then there's one like right next to you, and then one in front of you. Obviously, it's a room like that. It's built. It's very long in the direction that you're on the horizontal wall the most. At the center of this room, well, throughout the room, you can see all the bodies that have been ravaged and torn open, all around this room, and there's spattered blood everywhere.
And they're all the animal bodies, right? Like the kind of like
yes,
the
all
hybrids.
these like mutated creatures, half human, like half fish, chimera, all these other creatures. But among the middle, you can actually see, and like. Going for a charge, you can see a chimera charging at Humorous Marrow himself. You can see a chimera. You can see a chimera creature starting to gear up and go on all fours, and he goes and he kind of bites, and you can see like his mutated face. He's a bit bloodied, and you can see Humorous Marrow has like some sort of like his jacket has been scratched, his pants have been scratched. He's been in this fight for a while now, and he has blood all over him basically. And the creature goes for a charge and attempts to like basically tear out his throat, and it looks as if like by a natural instinct, Humorous Marrow goes and like grabs the creature by the neck, and you can see like it basically like struggle as he basically is like unmoving it, and then the marrow he basically grabs the top of the chimera's mouth and then grabs the bottom, and he just rips its jaw. He rips its jaw. He rips its jaw off.
Move.
And he rips the top of like the bottom of the chimera's mouth off, and then you can see it like basically bleed out to death, and he throws it to the side, and he kind of like wipes his hands on his jacket. He's like, "Oh, sorry, they cheated at chess," and he kind of pulls out like a chessboard, and it has like a bunch of bloody, and it's like bloody, but it has no pieces on it. He says,
"Are you fucking kidding me?"
They cheated at chess, like nobody likes cheaters.
So, just to kind of paint a picture, Lyris's face is kind of like it's like proper smiling from ear to ear, because Lyris really liked Humorous, obviously liked his humor, liked the light he saw in him, but at the same time, Lyris is thinking, was this person like, I thought Humorous wasn't even a real person, I thought that was all part of that dream state thing that we were in back in Woodway Manor. So like Lyris is almost like, to paint a picture, his face is like happy, is like, but like smiling, but his eyes say he's confused, like, what the hell are you doing here, sort of thing.
Yeah, everybody else catches up as well at this point. So if you guys, Warren, Delilah, and then Beatrix, you all see this sight, and he's like, Beatrix is like, what the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, I look at Beatrix and I say, you mean you didn't conjure him up from your fucking weird-ass imagination?
I don't know who he is.
He was in that vision dream
you
thing you put us in. Yeah, I thought he was yours. I thought he was your thing. I don't know.
I don't know that guy.
Oh, you're lucky.
And he's like, hey, I can hear you.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about you, not to you.
Oh, okay. And he kind of goes back to talking to Lyris, and he's like, when he said, what are you doing here? He's like, well, I was walking, and they came out of the ground while I was minding my own business, and I killed one of them, and then they just kept coming, so I went back in the tunnel and just kept killing them, and, it's led me here. So I just kept killing them, but, you get bored as an ethereal creature. But what are you guys doing here? What's funny meeting you here?
We heard the screaming and thought you were maybe someone in trouble. I mean, among other reasons, we were checking you're okay. I mean, I must admit, I'm pleased to know that you're a real person.
Please?
Oh, well, it's nice to know you're real too, sweetheart.
I turned to Beatrix for a second, and put a bit of a stern face. This is another one of your tricks, is it?
You think I could make a creature that powerful? I wish I could do that.
I mean, you brought us to him before.
Look at my hands. No, I'm not doing anything. I promise. I swear. Pinky promise.
I gesture to Delilah. Take out the bear.
Oh, Jesus. All right. I hold it out.
The bear at this point is he has his head down as if to be neutralized. Nothing.
Oh, shit, I wasn't paying attention to him when we got to the room. No.
Gives no signal as to what he's pointing at or if he's pointing at anything at this point.
Is his arm not raised anymore?
Nope. Limp as if you're holding a regular teddy bear.
No! I shake the bear like, what's wrong with you? Well, I guess this is the end of the line.
Well, you see, I kind of lied to you. I'm not gonna lie. Actually, I didn't.
I wouldn't put it past you.
I don't judge my honor of character because of how I look. I don't do that to you.
You turned my hat into a chess piece.
You were asking for it. It's a big hat.
You turned Lyris into a chess piece.
I guess, yeah.
That was funny. That was funny. You can't even blame me. That was funny. He lost the chess match. What can I say? Or did he? I don't know. My memory's kind of fading here. Anyway, I lied to you. I actually said that I was coming here just because I was walking around. In truth, I was actually coming here to do my own sort of research.
I don't like the way you said that word.
Research into what?
Well, you see, this may sound weird to people like you, but I don't actually know why I exist. I don't know what I'm here for. So I came here to get a better idea because apparently I can do a lot of things, but I don't know what I'm here for, apparently. I only know I was just awakened one day and I found a liking to these clothes I bought at a... Okay, I say bought, that's another lie. I killed him. I killed that person that wore these. I don't know why I'm here. It just seemed like I would find answers here. It brought me to this, and he kind of looks towards, he gestures towards the left, the wall to the left of the tunnel you guys are in. And you can see it's a slanted piece of sandstone that has basically gone and fallen, and it is fallen slanted to the ground. So you have to tilt your head to kind of see it. But once you kind of tilt your head, you guys can see. Actually, make a religion check for me. If everybody go and make a religion check.
14.
I got 14 as well.
Join the 14 Club, Bunny.
12.
Okay. All of you guys recognize this to be Rayon, the god of shadows in the hunt. In the center of this kind of mural piece. Around it, you can kind of see moving, like he's the center. He's like in a circular shape towards the center, and moving like out towards the center. You can see the creatures. You can see images of and all kinds of animals: deer, fish, birds, cattle, all kinds of things. And you can see moving out from this sort of circle that like all come from Rayon. You can see that as they go like out towards the edges of the mural, you can see that the creatures are becoming weird. They're mutating. They like some of them have arms. Some of them like just like the cattle one. The cattle one doesn't it ends early. It doesn't have. You see like basically all your arms and like appendages coming up. You see their teeth become sharper and they're becoming more mutated and absolutely just ravaged by whatever, like as they get out more towards this image, and they get more distorted and mutated as they go along, growing limbs to replace their hooves and fish replacing their fins, and they grow it into like monsters at the outmost part of the painting. and many of you kind of put together these are the creatures that you recognize when you kill the chimeras and the fish creatures. You can see like a mutilated mound around you as well. With next to Marrow, you can see all kinds of these demonstrations of what these creatures look like.
I would like a copy of this mural in my house, quite actually.
This mural was. You guys look a bit entranced. It's pretty ugly, honestly, but it is a piece I have put together. Well, I say I put together. I just found it. I found this piece after I went looking for answers down here, and it's very interesting because it gives me more questions than answers, really.
What questions are those?
Well, first of all, who is that dude in the middle? And what are the... Well, obviously the creatures towards the edge look like these things. What do these things have to do with him?
Is the thing in the middle, do we recognize that as the thing that we saw before in Aspecia, the big ass dude?
The thing in the middle is Rayon, the god of shadows and the hunt you recognize from murals being painted about him in myth.
And that's not the same things we recognize as the giant ass monster we saw in Aspecia.
Nope. Does not seem to correlate. At least not in this picture.
Do you, I turn to Beatrix and I say, look, Beatrix, show Humorous what's on your back. See if he's ever seen anything like it.
He says, okay, and she kind of like raises her the gown as to like, and then unwraps the cloth, and you can see, and he kind of like you can see like in a very animated cartoon kind of way, he kind of like shivers like throughout, and you can see like the shiver goes from like his toes to his feet. He's like, oh shit, that is what is wrong with you? That's not a tattoo. That's a curse, isn't it? It's a weird one, isn't it? I don't really recognize the design, but looks a bit old. Similar to what the symbols I've seen in other places around these areas in the ruins. Very similar.
I'm just gonna be honest. We need to help our friend get this curse off of her. It's one of the reasons why we've come down here. We feel like the history here is somehow linked to it. Have you seen anything down here that might relate?
Well, one thing I found that was pretty fucking weird was the fact that when one of the monsters came out of one of them came out of the hole in the wall, and there's one over there, and he's like he points towards this like literally like a crack in the wall that literally seems to be like you guys have to like squeeze yourselves in to kind of fit in it. It seems to be like a non-intentional entrance to what he's told you was a room.
How big is the crack?
Enough for us to squeeze through, apparently.
Barely enough to squeeze through.
All right. Well, Delilah is. She looks at the crack, and she takes off her hat and she hands it over to Beatrix, and she says, "If you lose that, I will murder you. I will."
No worries.
And then she goes to squeeze through the crack.
Okay. Okay. So as you step into this room, you can see like a large amount of like it's kind of a triangular hallway of sorts. It has like shattered like pieces falling off of it of just sandstone that's kind of like over the years fallen off and got broken. And you can see these cracks and chips, but through these chips, you can see a fragment of like what seems to be an ancient language written on the walls. You do not recognize it, but if you'd like to try and guess it, you can make a history check.
Okay. I mean, I'll just say now. I'm sure that it's probably not, but I do speak Celestial. But what was it? You say a religion check?
History check.
History check. Sorry. Even with my +5, I got a 7.
Well, it's an old language. You're not familiar.
Damn it!
Are we all doing history check?
No, it's only.
I'm the only one in there.
She's the only one in the hallway.
Okay, cool. Sorry, my brain prepared good for a second.
That's all right.
You do recognize symbols like these in Aspecium when you travel through some of the corridors there, indicating some sort of connection between the two. That's as far as you can make out.
Okay. I kind of walk back to the crack, and I look at Beatrix, and I say, "Can you come through here? I think there's something here that you might know."
Okay, that sounds fine. Do you want anybody else to come with us?
Not fussed, really. I'd like somebody to keep an eye on Humorous, though, I think.
Oh, and Humorous is at this point just kind of staring at the mural. He's kind of like, he's like kind of just kind of like thinking, but he's like, sure, I'll check out the yeah. And she's like, oh, okay, well, here's to hoping. 22. Yes. So with a 22, yeah, this language is, I can't read it, but it's Heffen. It's a language that dates back more than 2,000 years ago. It's it's similar to it. I'll say this out of character. It's similar to like hieroglyphics in real life. It's more symbols rather than like words.
Emojis.
Yes. Yes. All right, boomer emojis. Yes, and the language dates back about 2,000 years ago, and she says it's the primary language of the people before us, but I can't really date back more than that because I can't speak it. I've only known about it from what Father mentioned it in passing for when people would come across the land and tell them of their exploits, and they'd mention the fact that they saw more Heffen writing today.
All right. Well, fuck. This probably has got something to do with your back, though. Or at least your power rather than your back.
Maybe. I still have that feeling. It's weird. And I don't think it was marrow. I think it's something else. Do you think we should grab the others so they can come through here? Because it seems to be a hallway that leads to another
Yeah,
room.
I think so. I head back to the crack and I say, "Get your asses in here."
And I follow.
All right, so you guys all on our net can now see these glyphs, and
is Humorous following?
Nope.
Okay.
He's staying put, for at least for right now. And the rest of you guys kind of walk through the hallway, and you can see these glyphs now. And Alora and Lyris, they make no sense to you either. And if you would like to roll for a history check, you may to know what it is, but none of you can read it.
That's fine.
But I'm pretty sure Beatrix would inform you anyway. It's Heffen anyway. So you guys walk through the doorway, and you can kind of, and it's very dark in here, so you would need a better light source to see it properly. But I believe you said you had a torch, so you're bringing the torch through at this point to be able to see through. So, this sort of doorway brings you, and it was an arched doorway that allows you to move on to the next room. Through this room, you can see it's a fully stone room, not sandstone, a fully like gray stone room. It is chipped and half collapsed at this point. On the far side of the wall, there is a slab in the middle of the room that is attached to the ceiling, and so basically it's like half collapsed at the back of the room, and it is a slab that goes like across, and this slab is connected by an archway. And on each of these archway, and like on this archway, you can see there are 7 what seem to be. It's difficult to view at this distance, but after moving closer, you can see each of these are kind of crests, and each of these crests seem to hold some sort of symbol that you we need a closer look at to recognize, but there's chunks of stone all around this room to recognize that this is a very like ancient room, and it's very like crashing down upon you. And beneath this archway, you can see two things. You can see a vague sort of outline drawing of what seems to be a sort of arcane circle. It's not too dissimilar from a teleportation circle, but is not a teleportation circle. Aurora and Delilah, you would know this is not a teleportation circle, but it seems to be sort of a different meeting. And in the middle of this sort of runic arcane drawing on the floor, you can see there's a podium that comes out of the middle of this sort of crest, and it holds a singular warned book that has not been touched under all these crests under all these crests and archways. That has not been touched. Well, you assume it's not been touched. It's closed right now.
I'm gonna go touch it.
I want to touch it.
It's an old, weathered book. I want to touch it. Delilah is in her excitement to potentially gain more knowledge. She just runs up to the book, basically.
Okay. And you want to open it and read it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So after you begin to look inside the book, and initially, the language is Heffen. But after kind of thinking for a moment, and you kind of look at it, it begins to seem kind of, I don't know, it's like you're able to read it more. It seems more like readable to you than the language does. Like, it's the same language. Objectively, it's the same language, but when you look at it, it seems to be more readable than what you saw before.
Uh-huh.
And when you look into it, you can see like the various symbols like all outside, but they as if suddenly they're like, instead of, because you still can't read it, but they do make more sense. But then suddenly, as if they're like the language was some sort of speaking to you in your head, they begin to explain their meaning to you.
Ooh,
So
am I
then,
learning how to speak Heffen then? Like in this moment?
We'll see. So, and then you begin to see images that represent the symbol's meaning, basically. As you focus on these images, you are brought to like what seems to be a blank like void. Like, as if when you see nothing around you. It seems to be just sort of like an empty, like blue light tinted void a little bit. And it seems to, there's lots of images floating around you, as if to kind of like pictures, like as if memories of of like a bunch of people. One image in particular brings you to your focus at first, as if kind of like being like brought to like a movie screen, but then you're like launched into the memory as if you're being part of it. You are brought to after like a bright flash of light, after you go into this like movie screen of an image, you see basically you're brought to a figure. You're brought to a sharp point over what looks like to be a ravine. Standing at the very edge is a humanoid figure wearing what seems to be crude animal skins covering their waist, and you can see various symbols and markings on their skin. The sky is very dark gray, and you can hear thundering echoing throughout this sort of ancient valley, and you can see lightning striking occasionally around in the distance. As you kind of look around, you can see that you're looking through the perspective of another humanoid creature wearing the same kind of garments, but without the sort of symbols on them. And as if you could control like yourself, you can see whoever you're looking through begin to say, "What is the meaning of this?" They're speaking in common now. "You said the gods would protect us and provide. But this is global annihilation. You lied to us." And back still turned towards you. You can see the figure that stands in front of you said, I did not guarantee you any sort of protection. I told you that I would serve Rain in his will, and this is his will. He raises his arms into the sky with like an echoing thunder all around you. And you hear the person that you are seeing through kind of pulls out what seems to be like kind of like a crude steel knife, as if to kind of go, and he's going to run and stab him. It's very jagged. It's very jagged and has like a wood base. And he says, "You bastard! You've doomed us all. This isn't any being's will. This is the end of everything. You've killed us. Our civilization is crumbling at its fringes, and you've doomed us all." As you kind of look, you see that the creature, the man you're seeing like through, charges in front of you, charges with you with knife in hand towards the figure in front of him. And before you can even blink, you see the figure quickly turn around and grab the attacker by the neck, as if Humorous Marrow did seconds ago. And you can see the figure drops the knife to the ravine below. You as yourself, you can feel a harsh choking sensation, as if you are the one being choked, and as if you are the one experiencing this, and you focus in on the face of the individual that is now holding you up.
Oh my god.
It is an elvish man with an entirely face pale, devoid of all color, with pure red eyes. This is a creature not looking any like he's humanoid, but in the way that you do not recognize or see at all. The eyes seem to emit what seems to be a red glow that make you seem fear. That make you see, like, it makes you feel afraid and even more scared in the moment, as if you yourself are panicking for your own life.
I do not like this man.
After the elven man, after staying silent for a few moments, and as you're being struggling, and you're kind of like you hear the noise. And he's like, as he's struggling in this man's grasp, as he's gasping for air, this man says, "I am Rayon's chosen, the Dead Heart, and I will follow his command of shadow and bring the world to its knees." And there's a slight pause as he says this, but you can feel the grip kind of tighten more and more around your neck, and you see your vision, which was in the first person perspective of the person he was choking. You can see like flashback, and you go into basically a third person perspective, but instead you can see yourself looking straight at the ravine edge, and you can see the man choking the other man, and you can see for the last few moments, you can see him like trying to struggle to break out. You hear his eyes pop, and you can see this elven man makes no reaction in his face, and then tosses his body into the ravine.
Was I still feeling that choking sensation, even though I was third person?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
After when you re-switch perspectives, that's when the feeling stopped.
Okay.
And then the elven figure's body returns back to his arms extended, surrounded by the thunder and lightning, holding his hands up in the air as if to exalt on what is happening right now. And your vision fades to black. When your vision begins to, although it seems like you died, they gave you a sensation as if you died. You begin to find yourself looking through another individual, moving rapidly, as if like scared, fleeing from something. You hear the sound of dirt being moved quickly, as if something's digging really quick. You see an overwhelming sense of fear, as if the fear is almost suffocating to you. As you eventually see light breaking through to the surface, and you can see this person kind of crawling their way to the surface. You see yourself like frantically looking around, and you can see that in this dense forest, there's heavy rainfall. Your vision is then kind of jerked down in a forced motion, and you look and see your own hands, and you see that your hands are scaly, sharp claws. And Delilah, you recognize them to be the claws of the humanoid fish creatures that you previously had fought.
The fans.
Looking up, you hear as if you were doing this, but then you look and you hear the fear-instilling screech of the fan, painful. And although fear-inducing, you know the feeling now. This is not a creature that is angry at the world and wants to destroy it. This is a creature that is scared and suffering. The creature then falls to its knees and balls up and it basically goes into the fetal position, shivering in the cold. and you feel an overwhelming sense of isolation, loneliness, and fear as your vision fades to black.
Laris turns. Seems like a good read.
Riveting.
Your vision begins to open up again. You find yourself in the same room where you started reading this book, and you can see it closed in front of you on its pedestal. You can see the pages kind of go and slam. The book slams, leaving itself untouched. Although although you have exited the visions you have been viewing, you still feel the overwhelming amount of fear and the visions gave you, and it still frightens you to this very core.
Well, shit. So whilst I was in that vision, what was my? Did it just look like I was reading a book, or was there anything kind of going on that like showed the others that I wasn't necessarily there?
You were very entranced. Virus or if you wanted to take a look at her while she was reading, you can, or like you said, you could have said you did.
Yeah,
Like,
I
if you wanna,
didn't want to interrupt you, but yes, I would have been. We would have been. Well, in that time, I would have been just generally searching the room, generally having a little look around, and if you tell me, if there was anything untoward going on with Delilah, if her body had been reacting to it in any way, then I would have noticed. If she was like just standing there, like untoward, then I probably wouldn't have noticed.
He was shivering this whole time,
like violently or
fearful, as if she was like cowering from something, but she was staring at the book pages. Although she was as if she was just staring at them, and the pages were just moving rapidly, like as if someone was like rapidly flipping through the pages, and she was just staring at it the entire time. And her eyes seemed to like, if you looked at her, you wouldn't have seen her eyes. Her pupils weren't there. But she was just shivering. She was shivering most of the time.
I'm going to say I wouldn't have noticed then. If it was purely just like a little bit of shivering, I probably wouldn't have noticed. I'd have been looking around the room. I don't even would have noticed if there was anything untoward or if she'd have made sounds or something.
Yeah. And then, while you exit this vision with the amount of fear, and these visions carried you to that moment. But before you can kind of say something, you're brought to. You don't feel right. Like you understand what Beatrix meant when she was like, something feels off here, and that you can kind of hear some rumbling real quick. It's like you can hear like do 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 do, and something is kind of moving. You can kind of see the stone pieces in the background begin to kind of move and shift and like kind of move into a certain formation. And you can see that what constructs itself is a stone golem.
Oh,
and you
fuck.
you can see that after you've completed the book and after a few moments of resting, you can see as it charges at you. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Well, fuck.
Ooh. We're going to fight at the start of the next session.
Bruh. What the fuck?
I'm going to have to listen back to that like 3 times to digest.
Yeah.
This episode started off as being so fucking crack, honestly. Like, we were just having a laugh, pissing ourselves laughing, and then there's a massacre, and then it turns out that all of the fans and stuff are actually humans being turned. Whoa, what the fuck, man? Jesus Christ, I literally had goosebumps when you described the part where the fishman was like climbing out of the ground. That like literally, that I was shivering at that.
Alrighty. Well, that ends tonight's session, doesn't it? You look forward to next time?
Yeah.
Get to kick some golem ass.
Golem ass.
But I mean, them's the deals. That's what you got to do.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Those of watched the episode, please do let us know in the comments what you think of what's going on. What's your understanding of it all? Maybe it'll help.
And I will make sure to answer none of you.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Damn.
Yeah. Really fun session, guys. You gave me. I had all this stuff planned out, and then when this went to very joyful roots. So this is a very mixed episode, isn't it? With as far as emotions.
I'm
in awe. Like I'm still trying to digest it.
Alrighty. Well, I had a blast with all your help. Thank you guys for all tuning into our adventure. We can't wait to see what you think of after this episode. We love you guys so much. Please stay safe, and we'll see you next time, all right?
See you next
Bye-bye.
time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.